Can anybody hear me? Hello? Is there anybody in there? Tell the Patreon folks, tell the Facebook folks. Give me a second, guys. Well, first of all, yeah, you can hear. Okay, good. Yeah, it's not like all the way full screen. I did some adjustments because the internet was acting crazy, and I figured this was better than nothing. Okay, so let me get my Facebook people. Let them know that we're on, and then somebody has to explain to me what the deal is with this "I'm feeling cute" stuff with the memes. I don't get it. Sure no. And then let the Patreon folk know, the beautiful people of Patreon. Post. New. And fireside time. There's that. Publish now. And I have done my duty to all my people. Okay. We got 9. Let's do this. Okay. So in about 5 minutes, I'm going to do the traditional Middle America soliloquy about the Mueller investigation. Now, I have the redacted report in front of me. So if anybody wants to quote the report, that would be great. I have it in front of me, so I'll be able to verify. Because you guys know how I am. I need to hear it. I need to see it myself. I hung with some Russians this morning. Good peeps. Could have cared less about Trump. Yes.
I figured as much.
See, even Siri knows that this was an exercise in futility. You know who I really need your guys' help with? Richard Spencer. I really want to talk to Richard Spencer. So if anybody has any connections to the big homie Richard Spencer, I would like to know, because I got to talk to that guy. I saw an interview with him. He was eminently fascinating to listen to. So if anybody can get me a contact, or anybody has any contacts with Richard Spencer, that would be great. You already know the deal, Jarhead. Trump obstructed justice to stop investigation of a crime that he didn't do. Okay. Areola, I'm sorry if I butchered your name, my friend. Please quote me, because I've got the Mueller report in front of me. So show me where Trump obstructed justice, because that's a crime. And if he did that, then, obviously he's in trouble. So I need to see that. What segment of the report says that Trump obstructed justice? Yeah, the crazy guy. What's up, Osiris? When you talk to him, you'll see he's more left than right. Dirk Diggler in the house. Yeah, I gotta talk to Richard Spencer, man. That's gotta happen. That's not as big as the Nergal thing has to happen, but it's up there. It's definitely gotta happen. I need to know. How you been? I've been pretty good. I've been back in Facebook, Jane. I have spent the last few weeks tossing flashbangs at folks from NASA. Here I am trying to enjoy my vacation this morning, watching The Price is Right, and Cesius ruins it by interrupting the broadcast. Are you serious? Did CBS interrupt The Price is Right so that we could hear about the Mueller report? That's crazy. What's up, Rich Yonkers? Good to see you. I'm about to go in on the Mueller report. Then I'm going to have some callers call in. Inshallah, somebody can explain to me. Maybe I'm looking at this whole thing incorrectly. And if I am, I would like to know. Did I see the new Apple commercial featuring Megadeth? I have not. Not yet. No. You off the painkillers? You're awake? Yeah. Yeah, I was off the painkillers a couple days ago. So, yes. I'm reaching prime dad years despite not being a dad. Oh, I meant that it's pretty stupid to think he obstructed anything when he didn't commit a crime. Right. Yeah. I hear you. I'm just waiting for a couple more folks to get in, and then we can go over the Mueller report, because I need some answers from some folks. Hold on. I was actually talking to one of the homies. I need him on because I need somebody to call me up and challenge me on this stuff. You know, we don't do echo chambers here in the village. All right, there he is. Hey, live stream is up. I'm about to speak on the report. So, if you want to come down, call in, that'd be great. What's up, Captain Spooky? It's back. Ola Vilden. Oh, you sent us a care package. Thank you very much. Lady Sori is good. We'll start doing Vingo again when I'm done with the semester. Sweet. Lady Sori is doing very, very good. She's doing very good. I've got the full report in front of me. I haven't read it all word for word yet. The Teed has the best quote so far. Mueller report. I know the Duna seed is almost paid for. I know, it's crazy. I checked it today. I was like, sorry, look at this. It's only $100 left. Thank you guys so much. She really wanted that thing, and so thank you guys for the help. I did a lot of reviews on it because I was trying to convince her to take it off. So I looked up the reviews, but the reviews that I actually looked for on it, especially the ones on YouTube, were saying that it was worth it and it was important. So I'm like, man, we got, X amount of kids and all this. I'm like, So thank you guys for that. I'm very, very excited about that. We can talk about Aragorn. We can talk about whatever we want. Hey, Ian of the Village. Thank you. It's funny, they left out the Russian lawyer and Fusion GPS connection, which is connected to Hillary Clinton. Well, I mean, the investigation was on Trump, so I could see why they would leave out things pertinent to Hillary Clinton. Yeah, I'm gonna read, but before I go in on the Mueller report, I'm gonna read the village surgeon general's warning about the Mueller report. So we've got to read that before I go into my soliloquy because it's important. Do you watch Jordan Peterson live Q&As? Yes, I do. You know I do. Jordan Peterson's a big homie. 4 kids and a fetus. Sadakt. Right. 4 kids and a fetus. Yeah. Our little 37-week-old fetus. He turned 37 yesterday. Mashallah. So that's going pretty good. Aragorn. Yeah, I mean, we could talk about Aragorn if you want. He's live right now. Good. You should be watching him instead of me, Dirk. You'd actually learn something. I'm actually having Johan. He's looking at 12 He's looking at Gary Vaynerchuk and after that, he's done with that, he's going to be doing 12 rules for life. So let the brainwashing commence. The investigation was not on Trump until he tried to obstruct justice. The investigation was on Russia interfering with our election. Who is the village surgeon general? I got the village idiot down pat. The village surgeon general is Zonia. Shouldn't he read Maps of Meaning first? No. Maps of Meaning is going to be when he turns 16. Right now, Johan's only 11. So I'll just sit over here with a beer and have somewhat of an idea. Booby isn't in his cup. I know, Sop. I know. They did the big homie Booby wrong. Let me see if I can turn up the resolution. There we go. The left needs to move on? I don't think you know what the left is, dude. Okay. Well, call in and help me. Help educate me. I think it's more important for Johan to read Lord of the Rings than Peterson. I don't know, bro. I don't know. What's up, Art? Jeff in the house? They should focus that are facing the American public and stop focusing on trying to pin mud on people. Hillary is also exonerated by the FBI. Maybe figure out climate, improve wages, schools, and life. Right, Jeff. That's where I'm going. That's where I'm going in my little soliloquy. It's coming soon. Don't worry. I just want to say that as far as leftists, I never believed in the Russiagate narrative. We've got a backlog of stuff I need to upload, Peter, but in the next 2 days, it should be up, inshallah. So, yeah, I'm very excited. I'm very excited for our discussion to go up. It's going to be a good discussion. Zelda is better than Lord of the Rings. Astaghfirullah. How dare you? How dare you say that? Thoughts on mandatory vaccines? I don't know how I feel about that. I know all my friends to the right, and I see what they're saying. They're saying this is tyranny. They're not going to stop here. And I have no illusions that the government would just stop there. So I'm uncomfortable with the mandating of vaccinations. I feel like that's an overreach of the government role. Part of me feels like saying, if you're not going to vaccinate your kids, don't send them to public school, which I feel like is a good compromise, because then you could take care of the public good while maintaining, the individual liberty. But this is one of those situations where individualism and collectivism are going head to head, and based on whatever your guiding presupposition is, whether or not you're a collectivist or an individualist, or which one of those takes priority in your mind, is how you're going to interpret what's happening here. And I'm more of a collectivist than an individualist, so part of me is kind of like, this is a good thing. But on the other side, I'm like, I don't know about that. The government telling you what you need to put into your body? Oh. Thank you, Art. I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much, Art. Thank you for the super chat, my guy. So I'm not really a fan. Not really a fan of that. I am trying to get somebody a link to this thing, because he's going to call me up and be mad at me because of the Mueller report. So I'm actually confused a little bit by the left, by the obsession with the Mueller report, as far as what people are doing and how people are reacting to it. I'm a little bit confused about that, and I need somebody from that side to explain that to me. And I think he will. He's a good brother. But after this, that's pretty much going to be it for me in the Mueller report, because it's done. It's over. It's a wrap. Khalas. Do you think your collectivism is inspired by your reading of scripture being post-mill? Well, of course. I mean, the Bible is not, I'm sorry, if you want to be an individualist, a radical individualist, the Bible is not the book for you, because the Bible is absolutely a collectivist book, for sure. And I don't understand how anybody with a Christian worldview could come out of that, could read the Bible and go, yeah, this is radical individualism. That's the message. Okay. I don't think so. Does the individual have a right to cause an epidemic? Yeah, I hear you. That's where the individual right comes into conflict with the public good. And I think that's a really, really strong argument. But the problem for me is I don't want to give the government the right to tell a person that to me is crossing a line, man. No one wants. Do y'all think there's any similarity between the Mueller hysteria, which surrounded the Starr report in the 90s? Yeah, I agree. 275. Yeah. But the thing is that the Starr report, to me, is less self-destructive than the Mueller report, because let's say that Trump gets impeached. All that's going to happen is you're going to have a Mike Pence presidency, and Mike Pence is way farther to the right than Trump is. So I don't even understand. I'm not going to say that yet. What's up, Ron? Trump obstructed justice. There is no doubt their Justice Department was too scared to indict a sitting president. They left it to Congress to do something which they won't, with how partisan it is now. Yeah. But you would be fine with the government telling people they can't have abortions. Correct, Stephen, because it's the body of the child that is being killed, not the body of the woman. It's not, I mean, I'm not a very smart man, but Sori does not have a penis and Orion does. So if we were to kill him, we would be killing his body, not Sori's body. So this pro-choice trope about it's my body is just silly. It's not the woman's body. It's the child's body that we're killing. So yeah, that's why. I don't see how a Mike Pence presidency would be better for people on the left. It's certainly not better for what I'm trying to accomplish in this country. So I'd love it if you got Del Bigtree on to discuss vaccines. Here's Stephen Doss. Do you celebrate Conception Day or birthday? Well, Stephen, considering I don't know the day that he was conceived, I celebrate his birthday, but I can tell you that the moment we were told that Sawyer was pregnant, we were overjoyed with excitement. So we absolutely celebrated the moment that we heard he was conceived. But I don't know if you're one of those folks that believes that you should be able to kill children like right up to the moment of their birth. Because if we were to go with that logic, well, all we have to do is make sure he doesn't get born. So I guess Orion at 37 weeks, who's kicking around and punching around, I guess we should be able to just murder him because he hasn't been born yet. Mike Pence isn't orange. Win. Yeah, I mean, Mike Pence isn't orange. I guess that's a win. I guess that's a win, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I mean, look, sorry she wasn't able to get pregnant for about 9 years almost. So there was a lot of doubt as to whether or not, she would be able to. So getting, and then, we've discussed afterward, we want 3 more kids after that. But, getting that news was some really, really, really good news. Do you trust Trump? Hell no, I don't trust Trump. You better not trust him. No, I'm not going to leave it to women to make the best decision for that situation. No, we're just going to go with what's right and wrong. And killing human beings is wrong. Killing human beings who've not committed crimes is wrong. So I'm not going to leave that up for anybody. There are certain situations that we don't leave up to anybody. Like, I'm not going to say, well, let's leave the slavery question up to the plantation owners. No. Art, you're calling me. I will have you be my first caller, Art. But right now, I'm about to go into my soliloquy about the Mueller report. Okay. And believe me, guys, I'm no expert in this. I'm no expert in this at all. But I'm going to give my perspective on what the Mueller report is saying, and then, you guys can call me up and correct me if I'm crazy, okay? All right, so here goes. Here's what we do not dispute. Nobody disputes that the Russians tried to interfere or intervene in our elections. Now, I've said in previous videos that everybody wants to talk about the Russians interfering with our elections, and nobody wants to talk about why the Russians wanted to interfere with our elections. And the answer to that is very obvious. Hillary Clinton is a bloodthirsty, maniacal war hawk. She was, and you can see it in the video, she was in an outtake talking about the death of Muammar Gaddafi, in this just very flippant, I came, I saw, he died, ha ha ha. And Muammar Gaddafi died in a pretty terrible way. Now look, Muammar Gaddafi was not a saint in any way, shape, or form, but the fact of the matter is he had no quarrel with the United States. And for us to utilize CIA / Al-Qaeda, that's correct, Al-Qaeda assets to kill that man, this is a woman who was extremely hawkish. Even in the Democratic primaries, Bernie Sanders criticized her hawkishness. And the Russians explicitly stated that if Hillary was elected, that it meant war, and that if Trump was elected, it meant peace. Thank you very much, Mr. Demole. So the facts are the Russians absolutely desperately intervened in our elections because they believed that they would be able to have a president that was not beating the war stick like Hillary was. So that's without dispute. What was in dispute, however, was whether or not our president joined forces with the Russians, colluded with the Russians to perpetuate this attack on our democracy. And that is what Mr. Trump, as far as my understanding, was accused of. And there has been not a single shred of conclusive evidence that Mr. Trump engaged in that. Now, I don't know if any of you have read the book Shattered, which was chronicling the Clinton campaign. But Robbie Mook et al., right after it became clear that Hillary lost in such a humiliating historical fashion, they immediately went to spin the yarn about Russia and all the other silliness. The idea that the Russians influenced our election such that Trump was elected over Hillary is ridiculous. And at the end of the day, what did the Russians really, which still hasn't been proven, what did they really do? Did they released some emails from the DNC and John Podesta and the rest of them that clearly demonstrated that Hillary Clinton and her team colluded with the DNC to freeze Bernie Sanders out so that she could get the Democratic nomination, which resulted in her being the literal worst candidate in the history of human beings, which then left an open doorway for Donald Trump to win. I don't know if any of you saw the talk that Bernie Sanders did at Fox, but Bernie Sanders swept it up on Fox, in Fox's own territory, came in there and was getting ovations from the Fox News crowd. You cannot tell me that Bernie Sanders would not have beaten Donald Trump in 2016. But what happened was Hillary Clinton and the DNC colluded together to freeze the rightful candidate out of office. That's what happened. Those are the real people that screwed with our democracy. And there are people that to this day are upset that those emails got leaked. Emails that we had the right as Americans to know about. We had a right to know about that information. Now, all of us pretty much knew already that Hillary and the DNC stole the election from Bernie, but those emails made it absolutely and abundantly clear. Okay, so what do we have? Here's what we have. Mr. Barr, I understand, is a Trump stooge. I don't know why people can, Leah said this in her debate. How many of these presidents, when they install a cabinet, install people that hate them? Are you kidding me? Do you think that Barack Hussein Obama was hiring people that hated him? Or do you think that Barack Hussein Obama was hiring people that was going along with his party line and with his agenda? So, this to me seems to be one of those situations where there is nothing. To me, there seems to be some people who, no matter what they see, will not be convinced that Trump didn't collude with Russia. Look, if Trump colluded with Russia in order to get those emails exposed, I don't really care about that. I think he's an American hero if he colluded with Russia in order to pull that off. But the other stuff about the Twitter stuff and the Facebook stuff and the meme farms, like, does anybody really believe that that's the reason that Hillary Clinton lost the nomination? She lost the nomination because she froze out all those middle Americans. That's what happened. She abandoned the Rust Belt, and Donald, 78-million-year-old Trump, was going on a complete, a last-minute push tour, just like Bernie Sanders was doing. Hillary was the only one that was chilling at the last leg of the election because she thought she had it wrapped up in the bag. That's why she lost. Here's my concern for the left. I'm not a leftist. I just got done arguing with somebody about abortion. I am very, 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 very pro-life. But my pro-lifism also pushes me to deal with issues like Medicare for All. Now, look, I don't know if Medicare for All is going to solve the problem. But I said this in a previous broadcast. I am not going to accept that I live in a country that has this much economic prosperity, and I live in a country where a 26-year-old kid can die because he has to ration his insulin because he's off his mother's insurance. I'm never going to accept that. And that is a pro-life issue. That is absolutely a pro-life issue. Diabetes is not something to play around with. And I don't know all the other ailments that people are needlessly dying from. Like cancer, I get it. And there's some forms of cancer that are more aggressive than others, et cetera, et cetera. And if you've got $1 quadrillion to spend on some specialist over there in Europe, fine. That's different to me than insulin, which is something that is dying of diabetes in the first world is something completely preventable in most cases. It's completely preventable in most cases. And, Zonia had a CBS article about it, and I didn't even look at it because I can't bear to look at it. It's just like I can't bear to see, I watched the Unplanned movie, and I couldn't bear to, there are a couple scenes that were dramatizing abortion, and they had the tubes and I couldn't watch it. And I cried through the whole movie. So I'm not going to look at Zonia's CBS article that talks about people in my country dying because they have to ration insulin. I cannot bear it. And I refuse to bear it, and I refuse to live in a country where that's an accepted reality. Now, what does this have to do with the Mueller Report? Nothing. And that's my point. The left needs to get together, forget about this Mueller bullshit. Nobody cares. It's over. When I say it's over, I am not saying that I believe that Trump is 1,000 trillion% innocent. If I woke up tomorrow and there is some hidden camera of Trump colluding with the Russians, would it surprise me? No. Would I care? No. Because that has nothing to do with whether or not we can get that 26-year-old covered. Well, the left needs to convince people like me that you're not all maniacal baby butchers and that you also care about life. And the left needs to emphasize the fact that we've got a crisis in our country. Even with Obamacare, we had 28 million people that were not insured. These are the things that we need to be talking about. We don't need to be continuously squeezing the last bit of juice from this orange. It is over. He's not going to get indicted. Nothing will happen to him. It's over. What he's going to do is use the left just gifted this man with a nice little ribbon. They just gifted this man a giant present for the 2020 elections. And to me, the lack of awareness, the lack of self-awareness on the left is mind-boggling to me. The fact that you don't realize, the fact that the left needs to look at what happened with Bernie Sanders on Fox News. It's almost like we haven't seen how historically significant that moment is. Bernie Sanders went into Fox News, criticized Donald Trump, told the Fox News folks that they weren't holding Trump accountable, and got a hand clap from it from the Fox News audience. Hugely significant. That's the playbook. This stupidity about the Mueller report and trying to, I saw somebody saying that now Mueller needs to get indicted and blah, blah, blah for collusion. Like, this is absolute madness. And none of this is going to forward a Democratic agenda in any way, shape, or form. And finally, somebody brought up the Starr report and how obsessive the Republicans were about the Starr report. And really, it was just ugly, wanting to embarrass Bill and all that. And he got impeached, but he still stayed in office because it wasn't something that was going to DQ him from the office. And they knew that. They just wanted to just completely destroy this man and wreck his family, even though I don't have a lot of sympathy for Hillary and for the Clinton regime. You have to say that the way that the Republicans prosecuted their business during the Starr report was absolutely shameful and completely unfair and terrible to Mr. Clinton's family. But what is the logical outcome of, let's say, leftists, that the Mueller report comes out and it says that he was a horrible, terrible person. He should be impeached. He should be indicted. He should go to jail. Then you'll have Mike Pence. Now, for a guy like me, if you have Mike Pence is going to be 1 trillion% extremely aggressive about eradicating abortion, praise God. But he's also going to be the guy that's going to destroy any hopes that we had of getting all of our fellow countrymen, women, and children covered for insurance. We're not getting anywhere with Mike Pence as far as coverage for vulnerable people in this country. So I don't even understand why people on the left want to impeach Donald Trump. So what? You can have Mike Pence? And I don't know if you guys realize this, but Mike Pence was actually more popular in 2016 than Trump and Hillary. Hillary and Trump were literally the two least liked individuals. So I don't see how Mike Pence helps push that agenda. Look, a guy like me can, if Bernie pulls back on the I'm cool with butchering 9-month-old babies rhetoric, if he just pulls back on that, I'm pretty confident with Ohio, with a couple other states passing heartbeat bills, like, we can eradicate abortion on the state level pretty easily. We don't need the federal government to do that. So I don't have a problem if Bernie scales back on that BS. And puts forth an actual healthcare agenda that's actually going to help other the rest of the U.S. citizens who are uninsured, so that we don't have 26-year-old kids rationing insulin. All right. So my point is, the left needs to move on. Bernie Sanders gave us a playbook in Fox News and how to convert people like me to his position. And there's a lot of really good energy out there. And if Bernie and Tulsi Gabbard get together, in my opinion, and this is just maybe Vin's oversimplistic universe, all you have to do is as a left, you get together. Cory Booker, you're not doing nothing. Kamala Harris, you're not doing nothing. Black folk are not going to get behind y'all the way we did with Obama. It's not going to happen. You know why? Because we know that voting for a black person for president doesn't do jack shit for us. Trayvon Martin, Eric Garner, all that shit happened during the Obama administration. He didn't do a damn thing for us. So, Cory Booker, Kamala Harris, sorry, y'all, they're not getting anything. See ya. They don't have a chance. They don't have a chance in hell. So, Beto, he's too weird. Okay, just weird. The Buttigieg guy, he's fine, but I mean, who is he? Nobody even heard of him until 2-3 weeks ago. I probably didn't pronounce his name correctly. You got Bernie Sanders and you got Tulsi Gabbard. Perfect combination. Put Yang as your economic whatever. Put him in your cabinet somewhere. And do that now. Say this is a team and start pushing now. Start pushing. You got 2 years. Get a Sanders Gabbard ticket. Start pushing now. Pound on healthcare. Keep telling these stories of these people that are dying for no freaking reason in our country. And come up with a plan to get us working and to avoid the impending recession that's about to kill everybody. How about you do that instead of focusing on the stupidity, the Mueller Report? Nobody cares. People who support Trump and voted for Trump don't give a damn. And people who are worried about actual issues also don't give a damn. The only people that care about the Mueller Report are the people that care about the Mueller Report. All right, well, that's the end of my soliloquy. If I'm crazy, I probably am. You can call in and let me know. Who's on the line?
Rich, what up?
What's up, Rich?
What's going on, my man?
What's up, big homie?
You saw when someone went to Trump with the idea to fix anything, they got it done. Kim Kardashian and Kanye.
Yep.
Went to Trump with the idea to get something fixed, and he did it.
Yep.
Why hasn't anyone from the Democrat side gone to him about your ideas?
It's a very, very good point. And I'm sorry to say it, but it seems to me that a lot of leftists, and if you notice, Rich, what Rich is bringing up is Kanye and Kim Kardashian both went to Trump about prison reform, and Trump acted on it and acted to reverse the Clintons' black genocide agenda with getting all this mass incarceration up there. But Rich, you saw what happened. You saw the way that the left treated Kanye West when he dared to actually negotiate with Trump, right?
That's what happens, but black folks, black Negroes can't read.
That's right. That's what happens when Negroes don't read. Correct. Right. So that's why you don't see more leftists actually trying to cooperate with Trump, because of the groupthink and the group speak. And the minute that you step out of that, they will crucify you.
Yeah, I think your ideas would work on him. It would go over.
Yeah, I mean, if you...
yeah. He's not a Democrat. He's not a Republican. He's an answer guy.
Well, that's the thing. Trump is like, give me a task and let me crush it and let me take credit for it. That's how he is. And so... Yeah. But what happens is, if you approach Trump as an adversary, he's so competitive that he's going to want to crush you. He doesn't care what the issue is. It's about his ego. So
he loves fighting.
Right.
He loves fighting.
Right. But if you approach him and say, this is a problem that you need to solve and you need to be the hero, then he's going to be all over it.
He went all over the medical pharmacy, the big pharma, to get their prescription prices down.
Yeah.
And that fell down to the weeds.
Yeah.
Dianne Feinstein went to him about reducing medicine prices, and it sounded good, and they were working on it, and the Mueller Report.
Yep.
And all that shit.
Yep. And
just go to him with ideas. He'll do it.
Yeah.
Wants credit, but he does it.
Hey, look, Trump has no hand in writing any policies. He does like his business. He puts his name on it and takes credit, as does every politician. None of these people are writing the bills.
No. They're not doing anything.
But the fact of the matter is, Barack Hussein Obama had 8 years to do something for us, Stephen. He didn't do a damn thing for us.
He made it worse.
So I don't care who wrote what or whatever. What I care about is what is actually being actioned that's actually helping people.
Glad you got my video I sent on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Missy Akam. Happy Easter.
Yeah, I appreciate it, my guy. Happy Easter to you too.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Bye-bye. Peace out.
He's right. He's right. That's a very good point. Trump, Kanye and Kim Kardashian went in there and they got it done. They negotiated with him. And all the hip hop heads, all the woke brothers, they were all against him. Meanwhile, none of them were doing shit about the brothers that were incarcerated in the early 90s doing the mass incarceration stuff. They didn't do nothing. So Kanye had the audacity to go over across the aisle and actually do something and try to influence a person of power, and then he gets crucified for it. Well, I'm sure all the brothers who are getting out of jail after the Clintons got through with them are very appreciative that Kanye did that. But if leftists are so obsessed with defeating Trump that they're not looking at the people that they're supposed to be representing and doing anything to actually help them. Tulsi writes a lot of bills. Bernie is the amendment kind. He's a great bipartisan guy, believe it or not. I agree, Jonathan. I agree. I think he's great. I think if he would just simmer down on the baby killing stuff, he would be prime guy. For sure. Tooth is feeling really, really good. Tooth is feeling really, really good, XBM. I appreciate you. The truth is, the inclusive, intolerant so-called left is truly full of hatred. It's true. They are. They're just as hateful and racist as people on the right. It's absolutely true. So you're saying we have as much clout as Kanye and Kim? Of course not. What I'm saying is that Kamala Harris and Cory Booker, why couldn't they be the ones going out there advocating for prison reform? Why did it take silly, unread, psychotic Negro Kanye West and stupid Kim Kardashian, wink, wink, why did it take them to go and actually get something done? Why couldn't Kamala Harris and Cory Booker do it? You know why? Because they're too busy stunting and acting like they hate Trump so that they can appeal to leftists who hate Trump instead of actually doing anything, not realizing the whole thing's just a smokescreen. Democrats won't win flat out just being anti-Trump, period. I agree, Maida. That's absolutely true. They also won't win with this Mueller Report bullshit. They need to let it go. And the more they bring it up, the worse it is. It's silly. Who is this? Here, my man Art Perez. Talk to me.
What is going on?
Talk to me, brother. What you up to?
Nothing much, man. I just listening to you. It's pretty good stuff. First off, the Fox News town hall, Bernie. A lot of those, honestly, they were Bernie fans. They weren't Fox fans. Just to let you know.
How do you know that?
Well, one, I know the policies that he was putting forth. A lot of them he kind of talked around, didn't say really anything with any substance, and then he lied on some other stuff. But
what do you mean he didn't say anything of substance?
Hold on real quick. The cheers were over exuberant, and believe me, when he's talking about when they asked him about abortion up to birth, he said it was between him. Underlying, he said between the doctor and the woman has a choice over her body, and the people that cleared not only just clapped but cheered and yelled. They're not conservative. I'm sorry.
I'm with you there.
I mean, they really, and there was a lot of them. There was some there are some conservatives there, but I mean,
I agree. The baby.
One part that he did lie. He said, "Well, because they asked him about his money, and Britt Baer said, "Hey, isn't you're doing your thing. You write a book, boom, it's a bestseller. You make money. Isn't that a capitalism or American dream?" And he straight up said, "No."
He's right.
Like, he's not. That's not right.
He's absolutely right. You know why? You know why?
What? Go ahead.
Because if I wrote the same book, I wouldn't make the same type of money. The reason that he made money off of that book was due to the fact that he's a U.S. senator and he's occupying a place of privilege. That's not what the average American... Bernie understands that his experience is not the experience of the average American. So that's not the American dream. He's right. Huh?
So I can get down with that, I guess.
What do you mean he didn't say anything of substance? He talked about the Citizens United where billionaires get to buy off politicians. That's pretty significant, don't you think?
Yeah, that is.
So why are you saying he didn't say anything of significance?
No, I'm not saying anything at all.
Okay.
Right? So he explained about this. Okay, Medicare for all is not going to happen. It's not going to work.
Why is that? How come it's not going to work?
What I would do is do a hybrid. I would like Medicare how it is, but expand it to everybody who has a pre-existing condition or a terminal type condition, where they won't have to pay for anything.
Okay, why is Medicare for all not going to work? It's a genuine question.
On a smaller scale, I mean, look at the VA, right? Like many people always say, well, I don't trust, government to do things for me. Not only trust, I don't want them to do things for me because we're a free society.
We're a free society.
And, well, you know what I mean.
All right.
But I really see it going down the road. Like, I don't know if you remember, I figured it was UK or whatever, where 2 kids actually died. I mean, they might have died anyway. But the courts, the government, didn't allow them to bring them to the U.S. for experimental stuff.
Yeah.
Because they were catching the dime. And they were like, you're not going anywhere, and if you do, you'll get arrested. Okay? People don't see, like, okay, it can get up to a point where the government initially may have good intention. Right? So, but as it goes, they're like, hey, guess what? You're gonna perish anyway. We're not gonna spend all this extra money on, who knows, dialysis, cancer treatment. So you're gonna have to, figure something out, or what have you. Or your kid comes down with a fatal disease, and you find out China or somebody, I'm just throwing that out, may have a cure, or they've had successes. And you want to go try it, and then you're going to have, America say, no.
So what's your solution to the guy who dies because he can't afford insulin at 26 years old? How do we help that guy?
No, that's what I mean. I always thought that the hybrid of capitalism and government care worked the best. So expand the Medicare. It's probably going to raise their taxes, but I wouldn't mind paying for the people that need their medicine so they don't die. Okay,
so how is that different from saying Medicare for all? If you say expand Medicare to everybody who needs it,
because I'll get to keep my private.
Private
insurance.
Yeah, okay. I don't have a problem with you keeping your private insurance, but we've got 28 million Americans that don't have that. So, are you good with expanding?
Well, the thing. Oh, you're saying that don't have it.
Right. How do we? What's your proposal to help those people?
Well, I'm born and raised in San Antonio, Texas, right? We didn't always have health care. There was always, and it sucked. Don't get me wrong, but we always had free clinics. But you might be there 8 hours.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with whether or not you're going to be able to afford your insulin, right? How do you propose that we live in a country where 26-year-olds don't die for dumb reasons like that?
I would say, well, that's what I was telling you, that the Medicare for some would cover all that.
What do you mean Medicare for some? If you say Medicare for some, that means that there's going to be a lot that don't have it, right?
Correct. But I'm
Okay.
talking about Medicare for some, as in you need the insulin, you need high blood pressure medicine, right? You need whatever else for maybe diabetes, things
Yeah.
like that. That's going to be life-threatening deals will be covered, and then you can always go to the free clinic for
Okay. So
colds and if you're sick and stuff like that. But anything dire.
so okay. So you would expand Medicare to cover life-threatening situations or life-saving medication.
Right, that people without insurance couldn't get.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Is that in the Republican platform? Is Mr. Trump talking about do anything to help those people?
Arturo Perez Jr. doing that, saying that.
Say again.
I said, not that I've heard of. I've heard, I haven't heard at all. That's just me, Arturo Perez Jr. Putting that out. If I was a
yeah, well,
Mr. I would propose that.
Brother Perez, if you were running, I would vote for you, my G. But
so, unfortunately,
unfortunately,
Bernie on it. I mean, I don't mean to brag on Bernie, but golly, I did watch it. I sat through it, and I had like probably 8 beers watching it. I had to, but.
Well, yeah, for you to come on here and say he didn't say anything significant, you must have been 5 deep into your beers, my brother. He said some pretty significant shit there.
Good, man, believe me. So, I think he did get a raw deal with the Hillary thing. She is an evil, conniving, self-righteous. She'll put anybody away just to get her way.
Yeah, I mean, that's why she had to collude with the DNC to steal Bernie Sanders from us. She knows that. We know that.
It was more than the DNC. I mean, if you even go further to the dossier, I mean, they're looking at that now, but, of how they got information for Trump.
Yeah.
Or against him and his whatever around him. So, but, we'll see what's going on with Bernie. But, what else? I think what else did you bring up?
Well, I was simply saying that the left needs to get over this silliness with the Mueller report.
Okay.
Just move past it. It's completely counterproductive.
It's very good, right? It's confusing the narrative, or combining and fusing the narrative, right? Like with the illegal aliens, they don't call them that; they just call them immigrants across the spectrum. So then when you say anything, they say, "Oh, you're anti-immigrant. We're a nation of immigrants." No, we're not saying that, and we're not denying that. We're saying immigrants, yes, but the legal way. It doesn't have to be through this long, drawn-out thing. You want to come here and work, apply for a visa, and I know it takes a while, but hey, it's a privilege. If you want to come here now, if you do asylum, I understand that. But they're asking is to come to the ports of entry and not try to sneak in, and then when you get caught, you're like, oh, wait, I want to do, I'm asylum, you seeker. So that's a little disingenuous, but, and then not only that.
What's disingenuous?
Well, because they say, I forget the percentage, 80, 90% of them find out to be false if they ever make it back to the court about their asylum claim, and they deport them back.
Okay, so who's being disingenuous?
The people that are claiming they are the illegal aliens, wherever they're from, Middle East, Russia, Czech, whatever, Mexico, all them, Canada, but that's, like I said, a lot of them just want to come here, obviously. I mean, I don't doubt it. I mean, I don't doubt, blame them, but just all I ask, and I think a lot of the people that definitely are saying the legal route is that's all we want. Just come in legal, man. I mean, I remember I was different. I was a little different from my family.
Well, the legal route is extremely difficult. I don't know if you know that or not.
It is. I have people. My name's Arturo Perez, born from San Antonio, Texas, and I have peeps, in my neighborhood or in my family that are, right? And are illegal. And I remember one of my uncles got deported, and my grandmother was like, you could tell, like, she was super pissed at these, And then for me, I remember I was different because for a half a split of a microsecond, I did get irritated and pissed. It was like, that's bullcrap, right? But then I switched and was like, because I didn't know he was illegal. I was like, well, why in the hell didn't he get his shit straight? He's been here for 20 freaking years, So I got now irritated at him. Like, you should have got your shit. That's your fault. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
That's what I knew was different, because they were automatically saying it was the government stuff. But I'm like, wait a minute, but this is the law. How can y'all go against the law? You're not teaching that, right? And just recently, I say recently, maybe 2 years ago, another uncle, he actually took a picture, or somebody took a picture on Facebook, and he had his citizenship placard or his certificate, and I was extremely proud of him, extremely, like, joyous. Like, I was like, wow. And I wrote him a nice little deal, like, oh, that's awesome. So, I mean, I know what they go through. It takes a while, and a lot of them have done it. That's why you see a lot of people that the news main media won't talk about. Hispanics like me, or people, I should say, of color. That's what they say. That are on Trump's side, that people that they don't report on. I mean, they're trying right now, and I know you don't like Candace Owens because of her climate change hoax thing, but that's another thing we disagree on. I just don't think climate change is that big of a deal. But that's
Of course you don't. Because climate change is not that big of a deal.
No, I mean, I usually didn't have an actual position on it, but as I started studying it through my schooling and stuff, and taking some meteorology classes and things like that, and learning the fluctuations of the Earth's atmosphere and the climate in general. And I can't remember for the life of me. I tried to get that book, and I think it's in my garage somewhere. I didn't get it because I didn't think I was going to talk about this, but I forget how far back, but they went back pretty far, and they came up with, because it fluctuates, right? So climate change is correct. Global warming, I believe, is total messed up.
All right.
But
all right.
I forget how many. Okay, real quick. How many years back? I think it got 0.01% warmer, I believe, and that's like years of average overall temperature through all the other global recording devices.
So all those scientists, they're all just making stuff up.
No. You can spin it however you want, but usually when science is not a democracy, you don't get to raise your hand and say, I believe this is true. Okay, 90% of the scientists say it's true, 10 don't, so automatically this is science. You got to have, of course, empirical data. And there's a lot of scientists that straight up say no.
So the fact that 90% of them all saying the same thing, not really significant.
It is significant for their wallet.
All right. Thanks, man. I appreciate you calling in. Thank you for weighing in.
Yeah. Hey, it's awesome, man. Hey, you all keep it going.
Much love to you, big homie.
All right, now. Peace out.
I know, MDeath fan, it's just a talking point. I understand. Trees grow back. We're not in any trouble at all until we're all dead. I need... Maybe Zonia can call me and explain to me. I don't understand why the right wing is against this climate change stuff. I still haven't been able to piece it together. What is going on with this stuff? Why are we denying man-made climate change is a thing? Like, how does this benefit the right wing? I don't understand it. Oh, there it is. 90% of those who got funded. All right. All right. All right.
Can I eat my broccoli, or is that broccoli?
Yeah,
too?
you're pregnant. You eat what you want. I don't care. People who think that scientists make a lot of money don't know crap about science. Zonia, it's a conspiracy, though. It's the climate change cabal is wiring money to these scientists to agree with them that climate change is really a thing. So it actually, your facts that climatologists don't make that much money is actually the point, because that's why they're getting bribed, you see.
Why is this like this?
Because I turned something down because we were getting the long face of doom.
Oh.
Yeah. Sup, Z?
Because they're saying, but we're kind of small.
What's up?
Just driving home after picking up some more of my beekeeping gear.
Your what gear?
My beekeeping gear.
Oh, that's right. She's going into beekeeping. This is Zonia, remember?
Oh, are you going to use the wax to make floss? That's
No, I'm gonna use everything. They're mostly there for pollination. That's why I've got them. And everything that they produce is going to be put to use.
That's cool.
So, yeah.
All hail Z. All hail Z.
Zonia, is it going to be going in your house? Like where, the box is in your house, so you see them coming in and going out?
They're going to be in the backyard.
Oh, okay.
I've got enough land where I can keep a few beehives on there without too much trouble.
That's cool.
That's right, Z. You're one of those filthy capitalist swine in Silicon Valley.
No comment.
So, Zonia, help me understand what does the right gain by denying climate change?
Nothing really, but
well, they gain something because they keep doing, and I don't understand why. Huh?
There's a lot of money put into propaganda to get people to take sides, and this isn't a sides issue. The people who say that scientists are making a bunch of money to doctor these results or tailor them to come out a certain way, that has happened a couple of times. Willie Soon, I think his name was, I think his name was Willie Soon. He's been ousted from the scientific community because he got busted for biasing his work after getting paid by the fossil fuel industry to present counter climate change research.
Wow. Accepting climate change means accepting globalism. Okay, what does that mean, Zonia? How does accepting climate change mean accepting globalism?
I think what they're saying is that you need to participate in a global collective to combat change then, because it's something where everybody is a part of it, contributing to climate change.
I see.
Every country needs to be in order to combat climate change.
I see.
I think that's where they're coming.
I see.
The reality is that most money they don't get. There's not money handed to them as a grant to go and spend on a big house or a Rolls Royce. That's not the way it works. The reason why I didn't get into science is because it didn't pay well. So I work in the field of science, but I work in the field of science for profit. So I work in social networking, working with AI and distributed to pay us more money for our service. And that's for, it's not in the research science. Science, guess what? You're probably living paycheck to paycheck. Passion, because that being involved in scientific research
is one of the most difficult things to prepare for and study for and live up to, and yet it's not that fiscally rewarding. So you do it because you love it, because you spent your entire life working up to that. Your youth was spent in the world of science, being passionate about it, loving it, and wanting everything to do with it. My whole of the times in my life where I had the option to choose which curriculum and which paths I wanted to take, I spent the entirety of my time studying in fields of science. And the only reason I didn't go into scientific research is because it just wasn't going to pay enough, and I came from a pretty poor family, and I was having to spend money on my own mother to help support her, and I needed something that paid more. So I went into software engineering, and that, was where I could apply some of the same knowledge, but get paid significantly more. Right out the door, I was making 3 times as much as most scientists were making.
Wow.
Okay, so what is the left's proposed solution to climate change?
Proposed solution. I think there's a whole bunch of contention. Nobody can agree. Which there are general. If we reduce vehicles and we reduce, and start regulating, a company can, weight carbon things. I honestly don't think that's. I think we need to look at the greed angle of things. People are more motivated by profit and greed than they are by, regulating their use of things. So I think it makes a little bit more sense to cater to greed and say, how about we incentivize the creation of companies and solutions that can make cleaner solutions more readily available for the companies.
I see. So what you're saying is that the left is going about this all wrong because they're assuming that just the boogeyman stuff is going to motivate people, when in reality, if we don't see the planet burning up in front of us, that's not going to motivate anybody. But if you couch it with in a financial reward punishment system, then we'd be able to get some headway, because that's what motivates people.
Yeah, incentivize the use of renewable energy, incentivize the creation of companies around cleaning up pollution and around cleaning up the emission problem and regulating emissions. So instead of just regulating it, you're creating companies who are actually profiting by providing solutions that other companies can use to minimize emissions, or to even do catalytic type conversions on going straight out into the air.
Okay, that sounds like a. Okay, so how come nobody's doing that, Z?
I think there's too much, and there's not a problem that understand, right? I think that's the problem. And
wait, say that last part again, because hey, Zonia, you've been breaking up. Say that last part again.
Got this problem where one at all, and the other saying punish them for not that there's a problem and for continuing to it's a problem.
I see.
And I think that's what you have. There's nobody in the middle to say, how do we incentivize better solutions? It's just created this big us against them. So you got the left wanting to penalize the bad, the big carbon, at the right wanting a large carbon. monoculture is highly rewarded, and after growing, the way Earth evolved around a diverse agriculture. So the way that
Hold on. Okay.
all right, the carbon emissions can be managed through multiculture, right? If you've got these fields of agriculture, you've got a population very homogeneous.
Very hard to hear.
Z, you're breaking up really bad.
All right.
When you
Sorry, I'm traveling through a hilly area.
yeah, when you get back to your filthy capitalist home base, call back.
All right.
All
I
right.
shouldn't be breaking up now, though. I'm showing 5 bars.
All right, say a sentence. Okay. Line's free if anybody wants to call. Becky, America was not built on capitalism. America was built on imperialism. The American colonists went and massacred thousands upon thousands upon thousands of Native Americans and took their land. They didn't work for that land and buy it. They killed them. Then, some estimates have us at up to $1 trillion if you look at inflation. You had about $1 trillion in free labor with the transatlantic slave trade. So this idea that America was built on capitalism, on just a hard-working Protestant work ethic, is bullshit. It was built on imperialism. And then you were able to build a superstructure under your society financially through free labor. And then from there, you benefited from World War I and World War II in the military-industrial complex, and then ended up being the lone superpower on the planet. Because you hung out and didn't join World War II until the very end and let those Russians sacrifice all those people to stop Hitler. That's how America built its super economy. Did not build its economy on capitalism and just a pure Protestant work ethic. Okay, who's on the line? Hold on, let me put you on the speaker, my brother. I think this is the first time you've ever called up. Hold on. Wait. Shit, babe. Where's the speaker? What's wrong with me?
Go back. Right
Oh,
there.
it's right there. It's right there.
Is that it?
Speaker, yeah. Okay. Talk again. Who are you?
Okay, so my name is Matt. We spoke once before. I was the reluctant Trump supporter from a while back.
Yes.
I probably sound a little different, and I want to thank you guys, by the way. I had my surgery last month. They removed a 30-pound infected tumor.
Whoa.
And for 3 years, I was trapped in bed a lot, and you guys got me through a lot of that.
Whoa, hey.
Wow, that's cool.
So, and I'm going to offer you 30 seconds. I work in IT, so free advice for why, because you have some connection problems on your end.
Yep.
You guys use the home router they gave you with your internet connection?
No. We bought this $300 thingamajig.
Well, you bought wrong. I work in IT. I do networking for a living. And you guys are not professional users, not like casual video games and whatever. You use the connection a lot, meaning not high bandwidth, but high traffic through the router.
Right.
And when that happens, there's a little CPU and RAM in these routers that they get overloaded, so your connection gets disrupted, even though the bandwidth seems good, like when the guy has 5 bars or whatever. So you might want to look into getting, I'm not going to recommend specific products, that sounds like I'm shilling or whatever, but into professional grade, it's not expensive. I have a $200-300 setup in my house. I have servers and everything in my home. And what it does is the CPU and RAM and the router, and it's just a router. It's not a switch built into it, are more powerful. And when you're uploading, say, a video, it doesn't disrupt you doing the fireside or your kids playing video games or whatever, because the little CPU can handle a lot more. because that's how the internet works. It's very parallel. So when you're sending packets up and packets are coming in, that CPU has to constantly dealing cards constantly, if you want that visual analogy. So it might be worth investing in a little research, or if you want me to send you through the Patreon some more technical stuff, I could. Okay?
Yeah. Shill away, sir.
Okay.
Do that through
But
Patreon.
what
Make
I'm
it happen.
calling about, and I'm in a good mood, so I want to return to this thing about the 98% consensus. Now, and Vin, I know you studied epistemology.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. So in epistemology, there's two types of truth. There's that which you believe and that which you know. And I'm making no moral judgment on which one is superior. I'm just saying there's those two types of truth. And for the people who don't follow this, belief is something you state and you hold as true and you have faith in, so to speak, right?
Yep.
And knowledge is the path of science where you have to prove things, okay? Well, when they say some scientists have a 98% consensus is a form of belief. So science itself works this way, and this is something Vin and Sori themselves can do depending on your background. Let's say I'm a scientist, right?
Yep.
And I come up, I want to study a problem. I'm going to be stupid about this to be simple, but anyone can look at this. Why does one soda brand fizz more in my glass than another, for example? Right?
Yep.
So I'm going to write my problem down, and I'm going to start gathering data about the problem, like all the different soda brands and glasses and whatever, right? And then I'm going to try to make a model using mathematics based on physics and chemistry to analyze why the bubbles in one soda and one glass are different than the bubbles in the other, right?
Yep.
So then I come up with a model, and then I have to start internally using that model to predict. And by when I say model, I don't mean computer models, which I'll get to in a bit. I mean actual mathematically based models of physics and chemistry. Okay, I have to say, and that will tell me more about internally. Say I have to be able to predict why bubbles in one glass versus another and so forth, right? So then I have to say, okay, I validated internally, I think it sounds good. I got to put it out there to the other scientists and engineers who are going to analyze it in papers and attack it. Conversely, you want them to attack it because you want your logic to be sound. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and now to take a little sidestep, the most proven theory in history is the theory of general relativity by Einstein. Okay? So, and it's been attacked and proven true for 100 plus years, you know? So going back to the scientific model, once it's out there and then the other scientists say, okay, the model's good, then here's what could happen. This is the validation of science and why belief has nothing to do with it. Once that mathematical is out there, Vin or Sori should be able to take that model, depending on your math skills, and get your own can of soda and your own other can of soda and run that data through and produce the same sort of outputs that I produced. And so should Bob living in Ohio and Sam living in Spain or wherever, because the knowledge is true because it's processed. It's true through process. Meaning the model is what's true, and it's reproducible by anyone who runs the model. That's the science of it, right? Okay? So now moving on to the environment, okay? And I want to make this part of it recursive. I'm not going to approach it iteratively because it's not going to make sense. I'm going to approach it recursively, right? Whenever these environmental people, not all of them, but some of them come up with their problems about the environment, they're using these computer models, which you can make a computer model that can do anything. I can make a computer model that proves global warming is caused by people using rice cookers. You know, you just got to plug the data in and run a simulation, basically, right? You bear with me so far?
Yep.
So when they come back with their problem, and I'm not saying that the climate isn't getting warmer. Don't get me wrong on that, because that's a separate point to make with this. When they come back with their problem, when they say, wait, we have more hurricanes or whatever, their proposed solution isn't rational. Their proposed solution is like the most extreme version we heard so far is the Green New Deal. That what does it cost? $300 trillion or some crazy number. That's more money than it has ever existed. You know, and scaling back from those solutions, even some of the more moderate solutions they propose destroy the world economy. So what happens when you destroy the world economy, Vin? And you know this very well. Lay people don't care about the environment when they can't feed themselves, or when their children are starving, or when they, you know what I'm saying on that? I mean, and we had proof of this in the Dark Ages when the world economy collapsed for a couple hundred years. People were literally burning books and like historical artifacts to keep warm. That's one of the things the Catholic Church actually, one of the positive things they did was protect. They had their armies protecting ancient books from being burnt. You know, and so
yeah, but okay. I'll let you talk for a while. But here's the thing. Are you saying, I'm not saying that this is completely, like, I don't believe in global warming the way that I believe in God, but are you saying that this is killing it all?
Well, if there was a telling to me, okay, the so-called 98% studies have been scientifically debunked on where they got 98 from.
They've all been, what are these for the
Do the first one. The numbers for something back in the mid 2000s, were a bunch of papers, right? And they did thousands of papers, and they excluded scientists, and the list came down to like 100 people, 100 that said global warming was I can't say the word, anthropomorphically caused or whatever.
Yeah.
And papers were in there said no, I didn't say that. 8%.
Okay, where's
Google 90%.
okay.
Okay. Well, 90%. Okay, so Forbes. I'm trying to find the original because there were 5 of the 90 who's now a professor of science and history and affiliated professor, blah blah blah.
My brother, what source are you reading from right now?
Well, I'm grabbing a Forbes article just to sort of reference something.
Okay.
And this was okay. Here's this mention. The public discussion was started by Oresti's brief 2004 article, which I'm going to give you the specifics on right now.
Okay.
Okay. So I just clicked on it as the Scientific Consensus on Climate Change by Naomi, like NaomiOreskes. So she was the one who was the first 97% person. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So that's the first time. And before we circle into this and get lost, I know the Earth has been getting warmer. It's been getting warmer since the Middle Ages. And I know humankind is doing bad things to the environment, okay? So don't loop me into one of these wackos who are like, well, we can do whatever we want and things will just work out. I'm not one of those people, okay?
Okay.
So the article, the first 97 whatever article, it is 97%, 98%. The article was by this Naomi Oreskes. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. Or it sounds Greek, so Oreskes.
Okay, so that was the December 2016 article, right?
No, this was 2004. This was the first one. There have been several of these. This was December of 2004. I'm going to see if I can throw a link in the chat over there. So I don't know if you can see the chat or not, but that's the link to it. Okay. Now, and again, so there have been a series of debunks on these particular numbers, these claims of 90 whatever percent. But I don't want to get lost in arguing that, because that's the point I want to make is broader. Like, I think we have to do things to stop our negative influence on the environment, right? And this is kind of a broader point, and it goes to whole, like, even this, again, I don't want to start a discussion. I'm saying for trans-related issues, for example, I'll give you a brief practical example of, like, the issue with trans people are, like, people feeling safe in bathrooms, young girls feeling safe in bathrooms. Well, why don't we mandate from now on all bathrooms are individual use? That would eliminate 80% of the problem, and no one could argue over it. Same thing with the environment. Like, we have people who claim we're polluting the environment, which we are with all this coal and stuff. Why don't we have a program that mandates all new houses are constructed with solar panels? You know, that's logical and simple and works, you know? So when the environmentalists come back, I'm not like environmentalists in the wrong term. When the radical environmentalist extremists come back, because there are good environmentalists and so forth, come back and say, like, well, we have this problem, and now we have to basically, like the Green New Deal, we have to stop all
hold on.
Fossil fuels.
I got. Let me stop you right there, though.
Yeah.
So I'm reading a Forbes 2016 article that references
Yeah.
that
and
reference.
Scroll down there.
Hold,
mention,
hold on, let me finish. Let me finish. It says fact-checking the claim the 97% consensus on anthropogenic climate change, which is human-caused climate change. And in the article, and this is 2016, they say the following, and I think this is kind of significant, and I want to hear your.
Well, I have the article in front of me.
Do you have the 2016 article?
I have an article that's from Forbes, fact-checking the claim of 97% on anthropogenic climate change.
What date?
December 14th, 2016.
Okay, so we're looking at the same article, right?
Yep.
And I'm down where in the art where it says reviews of published surveys were published in 2016 by Cook and his collaborators.
Yep.
Okay. And it concludes that the scientific consensus is robust with a range of 90 to 100% depending on the exact question, timing, and sampling methodology.
Okay, so let's first look at that statement. What's the key word in that thing is consensus. Okay? If there's no consensus on whether the Earth is getting warmer because we have measured it getting warmer. There was a study by a doctor who I trust a lot, actually, Richard something, I can't remember his name, but I could send it to Patreon to you later, who studied the actual temperature, said, yeah, the Earth has been getting warmer since the Middle Ages. We know this, okay? So you can't, even if 100%, even 98% of people disbelieve that, it's still true scientifically because we have the actual measurements. You get what I'm saying?
No, I don't get what you're saying, because even in this article, if I keep going down, in the strict sense, the 97% consensus is false. Even when limited to climate scientists, the 2016 Cook Review found the consensus to be shared by 90 to 100% of publishing climate scientists. One survey found it to be 84%. Continuing to claim the 97% support is deceptive. But even 84% is a supermajority, isn't it?
Okay, and again, here's the point I keep making. If one climate scientist is right, let's reverse this whole argument so you understand what I'm saying. Let's say 99% of climate scientists were saying that the Earth wasn't getting warmer, but one guy was, and the Earth was still getting warmer. Does the belief of the 99% matter?
No, but my question to you is, do you find you would have to have very compelling evidence that negates the weight of the 84 to 97% of other scientists who are saying the same thing.
Okay, and I'm telling you that regardless of what those scientists are saying, the Earth is getting warmer because we've proven it by looking at the temperatures.
No, but the question in this article is anthropogenic climate change, which is man-made climate change.
And well, here's the point. The point I'm bringing about this number is the number. You know that saying that a clock could be right twice a day, no matter what, something like that. Yeah. Okay. Let's say 99% of these scientists believe in anthropogenic climate change. That doesn't make it scientifically accurate. What makes it scientifically accurate is gathering the data, proving it through a mathematical and physical model that mankind is causing this. And the reverse, if 99% said it wasn't true, then they're wrong and their belief has no impact on it.
Yeah, but how do you think that those 84 to 97% of those scientists came to that conclusion, bruv?
I don't know specifically because I haven't read into the specifics of every single thing.
Yeah, I mean,
we're
wait, hold on. Oh, whoa. I get what you're saying, that the number isn't significant unless there have been tests and data, etc. But how are you discounting this massive number, but you don't even know the methodology that they use to get to that consensus in the first place? Doesn't that indicate that you have a bias?
The only study I've read in completion was this one by Mrs. Orestes, okay? Because this was back in the day when I was more into it, so to speak. And since then, there have been 3 or 4 more similar sort of studies that pull these numbers, the 84%, the 97%, or whatever. And my point about this, and this is what I'm trying to bring this up, is when you're having conversations about this, I want to do better by the environment. You know, I want to cut down the pollution and all that, and I want to do it in a way that's not going to destroy human lives. You know, but to get there, to get to that point, and this is my point about this consensus thing. If you came to the people and says well, if we just have a federal program, which is going to come out of your taxes, but it's going to be small, and every house is going to have solar panels, you could convince tens of millions of people of that. But if you go to them and say to them, we're going to say, and this is a known thing, we're going to put, because you guys are driving all these SUVs, we're going to put these additives in your car that make your gas run less efficiently. And you have no choice about that. Well, what do people start doing? I'm not going to say here because I'm not going to promote legality.
Whoa. Hold on. So let me get this straight. Do you know who wrote that article for Forbes, by the way, the 2016 article?
I'm scrolling up to see the name there.
It's Earl J. Ritchie. Let me tell you who he is. He's a retired energy executive and teaches a course on the oil and gas industry at the University of Houston. He's got 35 years of experience in the industry. He started as a geophysicist with Mobil Oil and subsequently worked at a variety of management and technical positions with several independent exploration and production companies. Ritchie retired as vice president and general manager of the offshore division of EOG Resources in 2017, prior to his experience in the oil industry. So, wait, hold on. You got to let me talk here because you've had the bulk of the conversation.
Perfectly fine.
So, let me get this straight. 84 to 90, even this guy who has an obvious financial stake in how the climate change debate goes. Even this guy says the lowest number he could find was 84%. So 84 to 97% of these climatologists are saying X. But that gets undone by one article written by a guy who clearly has a bias due to the industry that he takes part in. But even this guy, when he's trying to lowballs it at 84%. And I'm supposed to believe that this guy has a more objective understanding of what's happening to our planet than people who've dedicated their entire lives to the field. I mean, is that pretty much the argument?
No. You stated the problem I have right in your thing. You're not supposed to believe or disbelieve him at all. You're supposed to look at what he's saying, run it through the model, and see is the science what they're saying.
Okay, now have those 84 to 97%, right? Have you done any research into what methodology they came to come to their conclusions?
In specific, and I'm not going to speak to this as an expert right now because I work in IT right now, so I can't claim I'm a climate models expert, right? But in the specific sense of the computer models that have been used for decades, and back when I first went to college, which I didn't finish for medical reasons, but I was going to be a computer engineer at the time, I participated in creating models that did this sort of atmospheric modeling, okay? And in the specific sense that a lot of these models that they use can be manipulated based on how you set them up and the data the selectivity of the data and so forth. I can say I don't trust in the specific ones I have looked at, which is not all of them. I don't trust what they're saying.
Why?
And I'm going to go there. Like these models, the ones I looked at, for example, were predicting that we'd be 7 or 8 degrees warmer now than we were, and we're not. And some of them, when they first came up with these models, they were predicting we'd be having an ice age right now. There'd be glaciers in New York.
Well, not all 97% of them were predicting that. But
I'm not saying that. I'm
okay,
not saying that.
what I'm
specifically, like when I look at these guys, I can't say I looked at all 97% of their work.
No, what I'm saying is you're saying you're very articulate about epistemology, et cetera, et cetera. But what you're saying is that you're calling into question the fact that, you're saying just because these guys have consensus doesn't make it true. We have to look at the methodology. And then I said, okay, since it's clear that you're discounting the consensus, have you looked into the methodology and seen the flaw in their methodology? Because that's what you would need to overcome the 97% consensus, right? So I'm asking you.
No, that's not what you need to overcome the 97% consensus.
Okay,
that's a social discussion.
What would you need? What would you need to overcome the 97% consensus then?
Okay. Well, first, remember, I started this by saying I know the Earth is getting warmer because there has been temperature studies which show since the Middle Ages the Earth has been getting warmer, and that's demonstrably proved by the measurements of the temperatures from the core ice samples in Greenland and Antarctica.
Yeah, but we agree. But we're talking about anthropogenic climate change.
What I would want to see from a scientific point of view, not from belief, like the consensus, I would like to see.
Okay, I'm disputing the idea that wait, hold on, stop. I'm disputing your statement that the consensus is just about belief. I don't believe that. I think that they did extensive study and had a very good methodology to get to that 97% number. So it's on you to prove.
Okay.
You're criticizing them. So what evidence do you have to show that their methodology was flawed?
Okay. Here's the thing. That 97% number, which will be for argument purposes is 97%, not 84 or whatever. That's not a study on the climate. That's a study on what those people believe.
No. They believe that because they've done certain research and had methodologies to come to those conclusions.
If a scientist does work and he believes it's correct, is it correct because he believes it's correct or because it is correct?
You would have to look at, if I was to criticize somebody, right? If I were to say your research is flawed, I have to go and show you where your research was flawed, right?
Well,
so I need you to tell me. So these guys are at 97% consensus. I need you to tell me what part of their methodology was flawed that brought them to that conclusion.
Okay, and I said in the specific, because 97% could be 800 people, it could be 200 people, or 10 people. I don't know how many it is. In the specific ones I've looked at, some atmospheric models over the years, over the past, say, 20, 25 years or whatever. I'm 45, so you know. In the specific, which have made, like when some study comes out, let's say, that says the Earth is going to be 3 degrees warmer in 10 years or whatever, and they propose laws, that's when you kind of look at these things. In the specific examples I have looked at the model. Like, I've actually brought some of them home in my computer and broken them down into the coding and all that, and said, you know, I have problems with the model. Not with what they're saying, where the Earth is getting warmer, we should do something about it, but with the particular model, because you can very easily, I'm being vague about this because I just don't remember it all offhand, but back in 2001 or 2 maybe, I remember reading one of them and breaking the model down in my home here, like on my computer, and looking at it and saying, wait a minute, they're excluding data from one set of satellites. Why are they doing that? Well, because that set of data caused their predictions to go, not be as far as they wanted. I'm not saying they were biased, but like their model was predicated in a certain way, and they were logically, in their view, excluding data sets that skewed the model.
Okay, are you talking about climate change, or are you just giving another example?
I'm giving an example of one of the particular models that they use to make a climate change series of claims.
Okay,
that I happen to remember looking into back in 2000 or 2001.
Okay.
I don't have it in front of me because I literally, when your life collapses and I had to sell all my stuff, I just don't have my data records from back then.
Okay.
So I'm not claiming to be an expert. I'm just saying, you asked me like my approach to this. Okay. So, and I was saying, what I would like to hear from environmental scientists, which you get some of it from, is when they're saying that there's anthropogenic climate change, show me with data the specific thing that's coming out of a set of human beings doing that's causing a specific rise in temperature. Meaning, if our factories are if we have, let's say there are 10,000 factories producing some chemical into the atmosphere, right? I'm just making up a number for sake of argument.
Sure.
Okay, you should be able to show scientifically that we know that X amount of chemicals come out of these factories. You should be able to show this is responsible for exactly 0.48 degrees of climate change. You should be able to do that scientifically. Okay? They can't. And the reason they can't isn't because they're wrong. It's because the atmosphere is so complex that those sort of micro-project when it's not there yet. Okay?
Yeah, but I'm not sure. I'm not convinced that you've done it. When you say they can't, I'm not convinced that you've done enough research on that to speak to that intelligently, because you're referencing one article that has a methodology that you disagreed with, but which you cannot reference offhand, which is fine. But it doesn't seem to me that you've done a lot of work on what the methodology is that these folks have been using.
And I can only say, because we're trying to keep this general, because otherwise this isn't, I'm a single person. I can only read so much and do so much.
I'm
like you are.
I'm with you. That's to me, that's why we have scientists. Because we have people that devote their entire life to a certain discipline. And I don't think we need to slavishly follow everything they say. But if 84 to 97% of them who've dedicated their lives to this specific field are saying something, it's going to take a lot for me to just discount what they say. It's going to take a lot of cold, hard evidence for me to discount what they're saying, especially if that's happening on a global level. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, and I agree in the sense that you're saying where it's hard to discount because you can't. Well, let me preface this. Generally speaking, you should not discount almost anything anyone says. There's a small amount of stuff like, like 1% of like crazy stuff that we all could agree is crazy. But you should always listen to other people and talk and have interchange. I agree with that, right?
Okay.
And which is why I love your show, by the way. I mean, the whole. I think you should do more of these things. But
I'm trying.
Yeah. On the specifics of the climate change issue, and let's get back to. Let's not get lost in this 97%. Okay. I agree. We need to do things to be better about our environment.
Okay.
And I think there's a lot of concrete things, like I mentioned before, like solar panels on houses, for example, right?
Okay.
So instead of having a large amount of these climate extremists, not all of them, but the percentage of them out there that are the extremists who come out with these big global, like Green New Deals and other, like the thing with the additive in the cars that wound up seeping into the ground and poisoning animals and stuff, that people wound up, I'm not going to say how they do it, I know how they do it, but there's a way at home to neutralize some of those additives. I'm not going to say what it is, because but a lot of people started doing that to neutralize that additive, and it starts seeping into the ground. Oh, it's a great solution to the environment. Yeah, we polluted less, but we polluted the ground more, So, let's come up with, instead of being extreme on the right or the left with this, let's say, look, let's just come up with a series of proposals, like putting solar panels on all new houses, cleaning our sewage. Well, we do a good job with our sewage in this country. It's other countries that maybe have an issue,
Okay, so you're not necessarily throwing the baby out with the bathwater. You're saying, look, there are some really extreme solutions to the climate change problem that are not practical.
Correct. And by practical, and I think you'll understand this very critically, because this is where we tend to agree, I think, you and I, on the consequences of, certain communism and things like that.
Yeah.
Okay. These solutions, that when they propose these big solutions, and from history that human beings, as much as we try to be civilized and everything now, when your children can't be fed properly or be warm or be safe, as a human being, or your siblings, your brothers, your kid, your family, you know what I mean, and the people you're tribal with, when that gets threatened, people throw out like you said, the baby out with the bathwater. They start, burning books for warmth, and not caring, like putting the worst fertilizers in the ground to grow more.
Yeah, I mean, AOC was talking about getting rid of cows and stuff. I mean, some of that stuff is just crazy.
So my point there is many of these big laws that they want to pass, like the one that the Paris Climate Treaty thingy, which wanted to put a carbon tax on us and all that. You're going to carbon tax us, right? So that's going to get passed along to the consumer. So what are consumers going to start doing? And I know this being an Italian American, I know the black market exists. They're going to start buying stuff off grid to save money, and because I have relatives who did this during I can say this because they're all dead. My grandfather was a liquor runner during Prohibition.
Right.
And that illegal economy never goes away. It's always there. And it's an outlet for certain things, but you don't want to empower it. You don't want to empower organized crime by making things that destroy the real positive, legal economy. So when you want to have a solution, like with the carbon tax thing, they didn't, fine, let's say we impose it. Well, the U.S. and Europe will obey it. Does anyone think that China or India is going to obey that?
Hell no, China's not going to listen.
Yeah, China has literally, burning fields for heat. It's so propose a concrete solution with this stuff that you can rationally convince the 75% of people who aren't of the extreme side, I'm making the number up. I think it's more like 5% on the right and 10% on the left, two of the extremes. But let's say it's 70. Let's say it's like 10 or 12% each side, just to be fair about it. That you can convince us all who want to make the world a better place. Like say, put those solar panels on the houses. Build some more nuclear plants so we can get rid of these coal plants.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't believe in most cases in extreme solutions because I don't believe that they're sustainable. But I see what you're saying. It took us a while to get there, but I see where you're coming from. You're not completely, junking all the science, but you're saying we got to come up with real practical, workable solutions, and you want them to be more out there with the methodology that they use to get there instead of just throwing out the 97% number. Is that pretty much right?
More or less, yeah. So I know I said I'd send you something through like Patreon or whatever. Can I just log in there and type to you guys how it works?
Yeah. Sorry, we'll check on that for sure.
Okay, yeah. And is it safe to say pre-congratulations to you guys?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, for sure.
I mean,
He's coming in a week or two,
I
inshallah.
happen to work in women's healthcare IT, just so I have more of a knowledge of this than you would think. So I see your video the other day when you were really stressed out. Don't be, because the science is there to get you through all that. You have Vina by your side, I'm sure, But, I'm not saying trust the process blindly, but it's there to, make sure that the outliers are really outliers. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, again, pre-congratulations. And
thank
keep
you.
up the good work. And Vin, try to you can get a regular, 1 hour a week podcast type of thing going, because you can do great interviews and stuff, you got a great perspective and stuff. You're like Joe Rogan in a way. You have a great perspective on stuff,
Whoa, that's a big compliment. I appreciate you, my G.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, thanks, guys.
Cool.
Bye.
Yep. Bye-bye.
That was good. I appreciate that
Got
call.
some super chats. That was nice.
Appreciate the super chats. K2 said something.
You know what happened? Hey, listen. Sometimes people super chat and they don't say anything. They just put money.
Yeah.
Well, you have your stuff started and then you go and you say, okay, I want a super chat. And I already had a message there, but I don't know what happened, but I went through the whole super chat thing and then paid the money and then it didn't let me write a message. As soon as the money thing went through, then it just sent off the money. It's like your message and your money has been sent. But there was no message. It didn't let me put it. So probably people have done it before they put their thing. They're like, damn it, because they don't get a message put through.
Screwed again by the evil capitalist scum at YouTube.
Yeah.
Question, why not take the Mike Pence stand of if climate change is happening, it doesn't matter because Jesus will save us? Well, I don't know if... shout out to Silver Kyrie for winning Vingo. I don't know how the hell you did it, sis, but shout out to you. I don't know if Mike Pence said that, but if he did say that, he's a damn fool. Stuck for a lie. You shouldn't speak evil of the leader of your people. Forgive me, I shouldn't have said that. But if he said that, I would have to disagree with the big homie because God gave us the earth to keep and guard it. That's what he gave Adam as his job. And we were supposed to beautify the earth. We're not supposed to abuse the earth. As a matter of fact, in Revelation chapter 12, it talks about God coming to destroy the destroyers of the earth. I will say that again. In the book of Revelation, when God comes back to hurt people, it's saying the time has come for you to judge the nations and to destroy the destroyers of the earth. So, if man-made global warming is a thing and anybody wants to use Jesus as the excuse for our abuse of the planet in order for us to accumulate more capital, I'm sorry, but you're going to be on the wrong side of Revelation 12. Let me say it that way. So that's why I wouldn't use that argument for Mike Pence. Maybe Mr. Pence is not familiar with Genesis, and maybe he's not familiar with Revelation. Those are kind of important books in the Bible. So that's why I think that's a bad argument. Overshadow Sean.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
What's Friday what? Friday what?
Good Friday. Mañana.
Mañana?
He forgot the Enye. It's in Spanish.
Oh.
It's mañana. It means tomorrow.
Oh, thank you, Overshadow Sean. No.
People trying to use the gospel as an excuse to be.
Sarcast was asking if we started recycling or if he was like, be honest.
No,
I was
we
like,
started-
yes. We've got like 5 or 6 bags, like
Yeah.
trash bags full of bottles that are going to go to the... What? Jeez, baby, scared me.
Imagine there's no collusion. It's easy if you try. No, nothing for CNN to report now. Their chick has been killing me this entire day. She's so freaking hilarious right now.
Please go back to rapping.
But by the way, Pence did state that in a session of Congress. La ilaha illallah.
How do you feel about Notre Dame burning?
How do I feel about Notre Dame burning? I think a lot of kids that have been destroyed by the Catholic Church and a lot of lives that have been ruined. And I'd have loved to see that money go to reparative and restorative therapy for all the thousands of kids across the globe that have been destroyed by that institution. Secondly, like I said, I'm very, very concerned about people across the world dying needlessly. And I would trade Notre Dame and everything in it, the crown of thorns, the cross, all that. I'd melt it all down and distribute that money across the world to help people. I'm very, very confused about this mourning and grieving over a building. And now I'm probably the wrong person to ask because I'm not a traditionalist. So I don't pour metaphorical significance into these things. So I don't care. I mean, to me, it's just a building. I could care less what happens to the building. There are people all over our planet in serious pain and suffering, and I think that those are the people that we should be crying about. Now, I've had a rough month as far as human interest stories. I saw the movie Unplanned, cried through that. Posted about a 26-year-old, still haven't gotten over that. There's just a lot of pain in the world that people have to go through. I think not the Gersock song, but the song.
Everybody went offline.
Who did?
The people are saying that their stuff is saying offline. Look, mine is saying live stream offline. Yeah,
it was Vin. It was Vin that killed it. But anyway, this will be in the recording. But anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just think there's just a lot of really hurting people on the planet, and I don't understand why we just can't seem to get our ducks in a row, especially in the Christian church, and I consider Catholicism within Christendom. There's a meme that's going around with a woman that's saying don't donate to help Notre Dame, go do something for other people, and there's a parallel to this, and the parallel is in the temple, where a lot of people don't know this, but Jesus is in front of the temple, and there's this woman that comes, and she has her last dollar basically, and she puts it into the temple fund.
Yep.
And Jesus looks at her and he says, all these other people have given out of their wealth, but she's given more out of her poverty because she gave all that she had to live on. And a lot of people interpret Jesus as saying that as a positive thing, but it wasn't a positive thing. If you look right before that, Jesus said that the religious people and religious institutions are horrible, they're merciless, and they devour widows' homes. And then he says, those people will be punished most severely.
Yep.
So there's this big tax because the temple was this glorious thing overladen with gold, and then all the people had to pour in all this money to upkeep it. And when Jesus sees that woman, he says, look at this. She's giving all she has to live on. And the disciples interpret that as a positive thing, so they turn to Jesus and they say, look at all these wonderful stones. Isn't this amazing? And they're marveling over these stones because they want to justify this woman giving out her money. And Jesus said, yeah, do you see all these stones? I'm going to destroy this entire building. How's that? Mm-hmm. I'm going to wreck this entire institution where we're having people work and slavishly work to support a building instead of helping people. So I believe that Jesus did. He showed up in 70 AD and destroyed that entire building and wrecked their entire system. And I don't understand why no Christians are thinking to themselves, well, maybe this wasn't accidental. Maybe God is trying to tell us something. You know, there's this thing where people are like, oh my gosh, I saw Jesus. People are saying, you know how people see Jesus in the clouds or whatever? Mm-hmm. People are saying they saw, an image of Jesus in the flames. And of course, all my atheist friends are like, well, what the hell? He was just sitting there watching the thing go up in flames? This is ridiculous. And of course, there is a sense in which maybe he's angry.
Yeah.
About all these kids.
Yep.
Getting wrecked.
Yep.
You got all these people crying over a building. Well, why were you crying over these kids whose lives were completely destroyed? Mm-hmm. Why is that? I keep talking to people and they keep rolling their eyes to me. Oh, you Catholic people. No disrespect to the Catholic Church, but it's ridiculous. Maybe Jesus is angry. And maybe he's trying to send a message, and maybe we're misinterpreting the message.
Yeah.
Because he's never, ever, ever been kind to religious buildings. Read the Old Testament. Old Testament or New Testament, anytime people try to make a big deal about a building, God was like, word, I'm just going to destroy it. How's that?
Yep.
I hope more of them go up in flames until we figure out the lesson. We've got to treat people well, man, especially kids. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I think, it's a national, global treasure, whatever, but let's figure out ways to love each other and take care of each other. And I think the buildings will take care of themselves. I think God is trying to tell you something with this crappy lagging stream. It's very possible. It's very possible. Hold on. Who's calling me here? Doug? Nathan? Matthew? Zonia? Art? Where's my guy MDef Fan? Where's MDef Fan? MDef Fan. Here we go. I'm going to call him.
Hello.
Yo, talk to me.
What's up, man? Sorry, we've had a lot of interruptions tonight.
Yeah, I know. My the thing's on the fritz. I just went on the big jihad against Notre Dame, so that's probably going to lose me some subscribers.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to. I started hearing you explain it, and then it started going all haywire. So I was curious to wonder if you thought that was something that. What does your gut tell you? You think it was an accident?
Well, what's interesting is Al-Aqsa, the mosque over there in Jerusalem, was also set on fire the same day.
I heard that too. Do you listen to things that she was going to do? I don't know anything about this stuff. I was like, this is hilarious. Just birth the kid and there we go. That's the plan, right?
Yeah.
Get it done.
Like delayed cord clamping and God, what are all these other things? But yeah, the second time was very quick too. So, I haven't talked to you guys in a while, so I'm glad you guys are doing good.
Yeah, bro, we're doing straight. We're doing good.
Yeah, I just been moving, so I've been really super busy. Anyway, so you don't think that well, you never actually told me. What do you think happened there? Do you think that was something that
some black metal kid?
Who knows, man?
Well, I do find it very strange that the Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Notre Dame Mosque both caught fire the same day.
That is very interesting.
And a lot of people don't know about Islam, but the Al-Aqsa Mosque is actually more holy to Muslims than Notre Dame is to Christians.
Isn't it like the number 3 spot?
Yeah, Yeah. It's
See, we know.
Yeah.
So I've been studying Zionism a lot lately. It's kind of threw me for a loop. Not saying that I was ever 100% okay with dual citizens in Congress. I've always believed you can't serve two masters.
Right.
But the more you go into it, it's kind of frightening, man.
Yeah, Zionism is no joke, bro. No joke. Yeah. I mean, we're gonna have to. I'm gonna pick that up on the next fireside because this internet is killing me right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's dying.
I can't tell, so I'm not watching it now.
Yeah, we gotta peace out because the internet's killing me here. But yeah, okay. Zionism. I'm definitely. We're definitely gonna do some Zionism for sure. Get more people mad at us, but it's got to be done. It's got to be done.
I look forward to having that conversation because it'd be an interesting discussion.
Yeah, for sure.
Get that fiber though. Get that fiber and upgrade them network hardware that you got going on. You gotta get to kick the kids off Fortnite,
bro.
And,
bro, I would have gladly have bought the fiber stuff, but it still hasn't come to Maine yet. It's unbelievable.
Well, not fiber specifically. What's your pipe? How many megs per second do you get?
I have no idea.
We just said give us the best of what you have.
Yeah, just give us the max.
Well, I can help you out with that stuff. That's what I do for a living, or I used to do for a living. Now I'm in software, but yeah, if you can help that a little bit, that would help. And then if your kids are streaming in 4K, that's going to kill it. How much do you pay a month for internet? That'll tell me. You pay $100?
65? What is it?
I don't know.
We just said give us the max, and then we called them when we really started getting serious with the channel, and they were like, they did a speed test. They're like, oh, you've got the top speed that we have to offer. I'm like, okay.
They said that it's better than what it's supposed to be. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. I mean, it's better.
So they do like speedtest.net, and they show you the upload and download that you can have the max bandwidth. But then it's also, once you have that, how it's segmented across the network in your house. So if you have a router and you have switches, I mean, I can get technical here, but there's probably something that we could probably figure this out because it shouldn't be happening.
Yeah,